Hi there, welcome to another episode on the talk show. My name is Tanimola. On today's episode, I'll be discussing on the subject 10 sex mistakes men make. The first mistake is sex starts with having sex. Most men believe that sex starts with having sex. You have gone out throughout the day and you come back home and you want to initiate sex with your wife. You just believe that she should respond to you sexually because you have gone out to probably make ends meet for the family. But you must understand that for a woman, sex doesn't start with having sex. Sex starts with the emotional and the mental connection. The emotional and mental connection you build with her during the day, throughout the day. It doesn't matter whether you are with her or you are not with her. I'm talking about the activities you help her with, the things you do for her, the things you tell her. It could be a text message, it could be the little hugs before going out, it could be the kiss, it could be the little brushing of the shoulders. It could also be helping with the house chores. It could be picking up the kids from the school and things like that. That builds a mental and emotional connection with her. And we must understand this. For a woman, sex doesn't start with having sex. It starts with building a connection. You know, every of those things that you do that is a stress, the gift you give to her, the quality time and things like that, they build up the emotional and the mental connection, which later, subsequently, overflows into sexual connection. That way, she's open to you sexually, and sex doesn't become awkward. You know, if you believe that sex starts with having sex and you have not built the right emotional and the mental connection with your wife, you'll find out that the sexual life of your home will be more or less robotic. It will be more or less mechanical, like she's just doing as a point of duty, like a responsibility she has to you, not that she desires you at that moment. And you must make her desire you. And how can she desire you? It is when you have built a mental and an emotional connection with her. All of these things that you do around building emotional and mental connection with her, they are sexy to her. And that overflows into sexual connection. We must understand that a woman craves emotional and mental connection before the physical connection. The physical connection should be an aftermath of the mental and the emotional connection. And if we want to be fulfilled sexually, then we must understand, we must avoid making these mistakes or stop making these mistakes. The second mistake is this: assuming that you know what your wife wants or what a woman wants. You know, a lot of men, we assume that we know what our wives want. We assume that we know what they want sexually. Perhaps because we have read some things and here and there and things like that. But I want you to understand that women are funny. Their sexuality is unpredictable a lot of times. You know, there are things that we have learned that are working for us, but we must understand that we don't really know what they want at every point in time. There is a lot of complexities around the sexual makeup of a woman, and assumptions in this area could be a grievous mistake for you in your marriage. You must understand this. Sometimes a woman just wants you to cuddle her and you think it's an invitation for sex. Sometimes she just wants deep kiss without any motive of having sex. And most of the time, because a man easily clicks at the thing and we believe that, oh, that's an invitation, automatic invitation for sex. But really, it's not that she doesn't want sex at that moment. She just wants to cuddle. She just wants to kiss. And we must understand it. Sometimes it could be that she just wants you to fondle her breast and you think she wants you to suck it. You must understand these things. You must know that you don't really know what she wants. And your best bet in this area is for you to ask questions. Ask her, what do you want? How do you want me to touch you? How do you want me to relate with you? How do you want me to connect with you sexually? You must understand this. A lot of times, there are times that your wife just wants to keep your company in the bedroom. And most of the time we think it's an invitation for sex. But really, she just wants to be with you in the bedroom, not sex. And we must understand it. Stop assuming that you know what she wants. Start asking questions. In summary, be open to learn what she wants. Be open to receive directions from her, and be humble enough to follow her directions in that area. She knows what she wants. So it is your responsibility to ask her what she wants and give her what she wants. That way you'll be able to enjoy the right sexual connection with her, and that will make your marriage more sexually fulfilling. The third mistake, common sex mistake that men make is that they assuming assuming an automatic arousal plug. What do I mean by this? That is, you just assume that there's an automatic arousal plug for your woman. Perhaps you have used that techniques in time past, and it worked well. It was amazing. She was easily aroused, and you enjoyed a good sexual act. But I want to understand that because it worked that time does not mean that it worked this time. We must understand that women are so complex in their sexuality that you need to be patient and open enough to understand them. And I can tell you that all of us face the same thing. Myself, I face the same thing sometimes. But we must understand that we need to be open. We need to be flexible. We need to be creative. Don't assume you have an automatic arousal plug for her. And you must understand that the sexual sensation of a woman goes with her mood. There's a mood she has during a menstrual cycle that has a unique sensation. There's a mood that is different from the sensation she has during her ovulation period. There's a sensation that she has that is unique during her safe period. There's a sensation she has that is unique during the pregnancy period. There's a sensation she has during the postpartum period. And you must understand this uniqueness. Take for instance, one of the easy arousal erogenous area part of your wife could be her breast. And take for instance, you are used to that. Once you start stimulating her, once you start fondling her breast, sucking and things like that, she starts getting aroused, and it has worked wonders over the years. A lot of times it has worked wonders, but now she's pregnant, and you want to do the same thing, and she's feeling pain, she's feeling hot, she's stonewalling, and you wonder what is happening. It is because she's in another cycle, she's in another mood, and you must understand that our arousal, our sensation goes with the mood that she is in. What stimulates her during pregnancy may not be what stimulates her after pregnancy. What stimulates her during her menstrual cycle may not be what stimulates her during an ovulation period. And you must understand it. Don't assume that you have an automatic arousal plug for her. Be open to what she wants. Be open to what she needs. Be open to her direction. Be flexible. Don't stick to your plan. A lot of times we have a plan when we are going to the sexual act. Men are designed to be logical, so we plan everything out. So when I'm going, I plan that, I will first start with the breast, then after the breast I'll go to clitoris and things like that. And you have this idea that that's how I'm going to run it, and before you know it, she's aroused, and before you know it, she's wet, and before you know it, and we can enjoy ourselves sexually. But I want you to understand that a lot of times you can't afford to stick to your plan, because at that moment you may be in a mood that those things that you have planned out, it's going to fail woefully if you stick to them. So you must be open to what she needs. You must understand that a woman is not a sexual object that you can plug and unplug. It's not that you just plug it, you just do something and she's up, and you do something and she's down. No, it's not like that. You must understand that she's human. And not just human alone, she is a woman with many complexities. And we must be patient, open, flexible, and creative to understand them and to be able to enjoy sexual fulfillment with them. The fourth mistake is equating your satisfaction with ours. A lot of time, men make this assumption, make this mistake. You know, a lot of times we believe that because we are satisfied, then our woman is satisfied. Because we have ejaculated, then our woman is also satisfied. But a lot of times you must understand that this is not the case most of the time. A man can easily be aroused and ejaculate, and that's it, and he enjoys himself and things like that. But you must understand that a woman's mechanism doesn't work like that way. You must understand this, and you must not equate your satisfaction with hers. You must be open enough to read her, whether she's satisfied or not. And if you can't read the signs, then ask her, how was it? Did you enjoy it and things like that? And if you are if your home is such that your marriage is such that there's open communication, then she'll be able to open up and say, oh, I didn't really enjoy it. Oh, I enjoyed it and things like that. And it doesn't have to be insult. You doesn't have to take it as an insult. It's just that that is the sincere truth. And then you need to work more on actually stepping up your game and making sure that she also enjoys the heart just like you have enjoyed it. So don't make that mistake. Don't mistake your satisfaction with her own satisfaction. Don't mistake that together. It has been researched that a man can be aroused and come to orgasm within 2 or 5 minutes. But a woman, his average should be like 40 to 45 minutes. So you must understand this. You must understand that your own satisfaction does not mean that she is also satisfied. Your goal should be that both of you will be satisfied during that sexual act. And you must stick to this. You must understand this and act in line with this. The fifth mistake that men make is exaggerating your knowledge about sex. A lot of men exaggerate their knowledge about sex. Perhaps because they have had sexual experiences before they got married, they have had a lot of sexual partners, and they believe that they know a lot about sex. But I want you to understand that this will, if you have this idea going into your marriage, or you take this idea into your marriage, it will destroy the sexual life of your marriage. Because basically, these are two environments. Apart from the fact that there are different women with different makeups, these are two environments. The first environment is an environment outside marriage. The second environment is an environment in marriage, within the marriage institution. And you must understand that the environment outside the marriage institution is more or less the outcome, the expectation is different from the expectation within the environment of the marriage institution. Take for instance the sexual partners you have in time past. Those women, most of the time, they have an expectation of either trying to secure your attention and secure your commitment through sex, or they are just enjoying the pleasure of having sex with you. But in marriage, your wife is not trying to secure you anymore. She's already married to you. She's not trying to secure your commitment. She knows that you are now legally married. You now belong to him. So she's not trying to get that she's not trying to achieve that. She's not just trying to achieve, or she's not just trying also to achieve sexual pleasure. She wants to be connected. She wants to stay connected. That is her goal. That is what she wants. So if you bring that experience of those women, now those women, they don't see anything wrong. They don't even care whether you are mentally or emotionally connected to them. All they want to know is that you are blessed, you are pleasuring them. That is their goal. All they want to know is that they get your attention. Anytime they need you, they get your attention. That's all they are after. They are not after whether they are emotionally or mentally connected to you, or you are emotionally or mentally connected to them. In fact, a lot of times we have relationships that have no strings attached, no commitment, nothing. It's just sex. But in marriage, it's a different ballgame. And moreover, there is a sanctity and the sanity that God expects that we enjoy in the marriage institution. Outside the marriage, it is against God's will, but in the marriage, it is in line with God's will. And that woman wants a mental and emotional connection. So don't exaggerate your knowledge about sex. Don't exaggerate it. Get to know the things you need to know. Don't assume that you know when you don't know. Don't assume that you know everything, all that is to know about sex, that you don't need to study further on it, that you don't need to learn further on it. In fact, there are people that don't even have sexual experiences outside marriage, and they believe and they assume they're probably virgins, and they assume that, oh, sex will just flow naturally. It's just the natural human chemistry and it's just flow. So they don't even bother to learn, they don't even bother to read up, they don't even bother to do any study, and they end up destroying the sexual life of their marriage because they know nothing. And you must not be caught in this trap. A lot of men make this mistake. Don't exaggerate your knowledge about sex. Don't do it. In the marriage, your wife wants to feel safe with you. She wants to be connected to you. She wants to be there with you. She wants to feel safe. Our goal is safety in your hands. Not just sexual pleasure, not just you pleasuring her. Before she can even feel pleasured, she requires that she is mentally and emotionally connected. And you must understand that there are responsibilities that marriage entails that casual sex doesn't even demand that. And that makes it a different ballgame. So you must not exaggerate your knowledge about sex. Don't make that mistake. The sixth mistake, another mistake that we have seen that men make is skipping foreplay or brushing over it. A lot of men just want to get into the act. We just want to do the thing and stand up. That is most of the time, that is what you want to do. You want to relieve the stress and stand up and get over it and be fine again. But you must understand that a woman is not built that way. She's not built that way. And we must understand this. A woman needs foreplay. Foreplay is not a luxury demand for a woman. It is a necessity. Someone described the sexual makeup of a man in form of a gas cooker. That is, you can light it up and to come up at once. The fire is burning already. You can put your frying pan on it and start frying anything you want to fry. And once you are done, you switch the knob off and it's off. A man is like that. You can get aroused once, get an erection once, build up arousal, ejaculate, and it's final, and it's done. He's fine with that, he's satisfied. But a woman is not like that. A woman is described like an electric cooker, electric stove. When you turn the knob on, it takes time to build up. It takes time to build up. It builds up gradually. It gets hot gradually. And you must understand it. That gradual process of getting hot, it is the foreplay process. And you must understand this complexity and be able to relate with your wife, with your woman, the way you ought to relate with her. She gets built up gradually. And once she's hot, on fire, then you can put your frying pan there and fry whatever you want to fry. And when you are done, you turn off the knob. But you should also understand that an electric stove doesn't just cool off like that. It cools off also gradually. So a woman takes time to get on fire and takes time to cool down. So we must understand these differences, this difference in our makeup. And we must be able to relate correctly. We must be able to manage these differences in order for us to be able to mutually enjoy satisfaction and fulfillment sexually in our marriage. So if you don't understand this and you just, like a gas cooker, you are just on fire and you just want to start the whole thing or brush over the foreplay and skip it all over, and your woman is just trying to get into the game. So by the time you are done, she's almost reaching the warm stages and perhaps getting hot a little, and you are done already. So she's frustrated. You leave her frustrated, and a frustrated woman sexually, it's you don't want to, you can't enjoy her best that way. Once she's frustrated, you can't enjoy her best. And you must understand it. Don't be selfish about it. Don't skip foreplay. It's a mistake you should not afford to make. Don't make this mistake. And you must also understand that you don't just master the physical foreplay. And even the physical foreplay, you must understand that this foreplay is not a plug, it's not a switch that you turn on and turn off. You must be able to relate with her, asking her questions, asking her for direction in the right way she wants you to go, and be humble enough to follow those routes. A lot of times when men just discover the clitoris magic, they just want to start the thing and plug into the clitoris and just start pressing it and pressing it. It doesn't work that way. No, it doesn't work that way. And they start pressing it, and the woman is getting hot and things like that. No, these are techniques. Before you go down there are other things you should do. The kissing, the hugging, the caressing, the stroking of the breast, and things like that, the kissing of the neck, the kissing of the thighs. Before you now start plugging into the clitoris, don't just start plugging into the clitoris like this. It's just something you just plug into. Another area that men just rush into is when they just discovered the Grafenberg spot, popularly known as the G spot. Some men will just plug into it as if they are digging for a treasure hunt. Just be trying to search for it as if it's ultimate search. No, it doesn't work that way. You are frustrating her that way. You are hurting her that way. You are making her feel like she is a sex object that you can plug and unplug. No, you shouldn't do that. You must master the act of physical foreplay and be able to relate well. It takes patience. It takes patience. You must be patient with her and go through the process of foreplay with her, and then build her up to the hot zone. When she now gets to the hot zone, that is now the time you can now put your frying pan on the fire and start frying what you need to fry. That is when you now come into penetration and you now release yourself sexually. Another area of foreplay that we need to master at this time is the mental foreplay. Master the mental foreplay. And what is the mental foreplay? You tell her the things she loves to hear, even during the act. You whisper those things to her. You bring memory of the wonderful times you have had sexually, such that she's mentally stimulated, and that brings her up into arousal as quickly as possible, because she is imagining and picturing those lovely moments that you had then, and now she's coming into the reality. She's bringing that into the present reality, and it's helping her. Another thing about mental foreplay is making sounds. Some men just lie down there without making sounds. When you make sounds, it makes her feel that what she's doing is right. So she needs the sound to get her. In fact, a lot of times when you are making those sounds and making those gestures, she's also stimulated as much as you are getting stimulated and aroused. So you must master these two, the physical foreplay and the mental foreplay. Don't skip it. Don't brush over it. It is a core part of the sexual act that your wife needs, and you must understand this. The seventh mistake that men make is insensitivity to our body language. A lot of time, men are not sensitive to the body language of their wives. They just focus on their own goal. Let me download and finish the download and get up. They are not sensitive enough to our body language. A lot of time, women fake orgasm. They fake it to make so that their man doesn't feel bad, so that their husband doesn't feel bad. And if a man is not sensitive to our body language, then he will not be able to see through that faking. He will assume that she is enjoying it, whereas she is just faking it. She's not enjoying it. What she wants is that she doesn't want you to feel bad, but at the same time, she wants you to be sensitive to her body language. She wants you to be sensitive to her feeling, to how much she's enjoying it or not enjoying it. And we we need to be sensitive to their body language. You must understand that the morning, the sounds and things like that, they can be faked. But the body languages, if you understand how to read it well, those ones cannot be faked. The involuntary jackings, the stiffening, the occasional stiffening of the body and things like that. The sensations that runs through her, sometimes the clingy expression. Those are the body languages you must be able to read. A lot of time we assume that because she's wet, then she's aroused. Like I said earlier, the mood of a woman determines how she feels, the sensation she experiences. If she's in a mood where she's secreting a lot of vaginal discharges and things like that, you may assume that is wetness, and you may assume that is an invitation for you to come in. And most of the time when you come in that way, you just come in and you find out that it is still painful for her even though she's wet. So really, it's not an indication. The major indication is her body languages. The swelling of the labia minora, that is showing that she's really aroused and she's ready for you. The jackings, sometimes she just clicks to you so tight, so fitted, that is showing that she is getting involuntary reactions by the things that you are doing to her. And you must be sensitive to that. Don't continue making that mistake of being insensitive to our body language. The eighth thing is this. Men make this mistake too a lot. Men believe that they assume that intercourse will get an orgasm. Men believe that intercourse will get their wife orgasm, they will get their woman orgasm. But I want to tell you, it has been researched that about 80% of women will not reach orgasm through intercourse alone. And most of the sexual styles that we have, they don't directly stimulate the clitoris, which is the major sexual part of a woman that has a lot of nerve endings and stimulations. Most of the thigh doesn't do that. So definitely sexual intercourse will not achieve orgasm for her. And a lot of men make this assumption, they make this mistake. They assume that intercourse will get her an orgasm. You must not make this mistake. You must, like I said earlier, practice foreplay. Don't skip it. Walk her through it. Through that, she will be able to be ready to take you in. And by the time you are coming in, then she is also getting an orgasm. This is the idea. You are doing the foreplay and you are reading her body languages, and she's getting hot, she's getting warm, she's getting to the peak, and she's almost reaching an orgasm. Then you slide in at that moment. But at that moment, when you slide in, you are using penetration and intercourse to get her to the final destination of that orgasm. And hopefully, if you continue that way, she can also experience multiple orgasms, and also both of you can experience simultaneous orgasm. So don't believe that only intercourse will bring you get her an orgasm. Don't assume that. That's a mistake. Don't make that mistake. Practice foreplay. Don't skip it. Be generous about it. I understand that there are times that you don't have the time, the quickie thing and things like that, but you must understand that even the quickie thing, what makes it faster is because she is already emotionally ready and mentally ready. So sexual readiness flows easily, unlike when she needs a lot of time to build up. And you must not make this mistake. Don't assume that intercourse will get your wife an orgasm. The next mistake that men make is being over fixated on achieving orgasm. A lot of time we believe that we have done our end game should be that our woman should achieve an orgasm. So when we are going into the sexual heart, that is what we are picturing. We want her to achieve orgasm. We want her to achieve orgasm. And that is clamoring our head and our expectation and things like that. And most of the time, that leads us into anxiety. And when we become anxious, then we tend to get aroused more quickly, and by that we tend to ejaculate prematurely. So a lot of men, because of this anxiety and overfixation on achieving orgasm, they get anxious and they leave, and because they ejaculate prematurely, they leave their wife frustrated. They don't achieve the orgasm, and yet they have left their wife frustrated. The best thing you can do is to release yourself. Let it flow. Flow with the rhythm. No matter what comes. If orgasm comes, fine. If it doesn't come, good. In fact, a lot of times when you release yourself that way and you allow yourself to explore, you allow your wife to explore your body, she's also released to for you to explore her body. Most of the time, you end up achieving orgasm. In fact, multiple orgasm. You know why? Because your bodies are relaxed. There's no anxiety. You can hold your ejaculation. You can control your ejaculation that way, and then you are able to enjoy sexual fulfillment the way you should enjoy it. The 10th and the last thing I'll talk about is this: taking off immediately after sex. A lot of us make this mistake. It's bad of us. We a lot of time, because we can, once we ejaculate, we want to stand up. Just want to stand up, wash up, and then we sleep off, or perhaps go on with other activities. You know why? Because we have released the pressure and the anxiety, and we just want to get along with other business. But like I said earlier, a woman is like an electric stove. She cools up, she becomes hot gradually, and she cools off gradually. So it's a mistake when you just take off immediately after sex. You are making your wife, if it's a slut now, or a girlfriend, that can be allowed. But as far as your wife is concerned, you are making her feel like she's being used. You are making her feel like, oh, you are selfish. You are making her feel like you have satisfied yourself, and then that's it. You don't care about what she feels anymore after the sex. And the post-sex thing is also important. The post-sex intimacy is also important. So sometimes you just stay a bit and make sure that and allow your penis to still be inside her, and just cuddle her, and sometimes you may even have slide out and perhaps still hug her and things like that, and maybe a few minutes or thereabout, then you can stand up, wash up, and that way she feels a connection, and you have made yourself available for her to pull off. That is, you made yourself available for her to pull off in your arms, and that is exciting to her, that is fulfilling to her, and that is how you can achieve the best in your sexual life. 10 sex mistakes you must avoid. 10 sex mistakes men make, and you must avoid these mistakes if you will enjoy sexual fulfillment in your marriage. It's a wisdom tip, and I want to talk to the spiritual brothers. Don't assume spirituality makes your wife or your woman, the person you want to get married or the person you have gotten married to, care less about your sexual performance. Don't assume that because she's spiritual, she doesn't care about how you perform in bed. My dear, go and learn. Go and learn. Don't assume that. That is a grievous mistake. She is human. She is human. She's spiritual. She doesn't violate God's instructions by going outside the marriage to have sex, but she's anticipating a release of her sexual fulfillment, of her sexuality in marriage. So she's anticipating it. Don't disappoint her. Don't be casual about it. Don't be mediocre about it. Be excellent. Go and learn. Go and learn the things you need to learn. Go and work up on your orientation. I'm not saying that you should learn by practicing or whatever. No, there are books you can learn. This teaching is a good teaching. Look at the intimacy I've been doing. Listen to them, learn, in order for you to make your wife fulfilled in that marriage. Because she's spiritual doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve good sex. And you must understand this. I trust that you have been able to get something on this episode, and I believe that as you walk with this reality and you avoid these mistakes, you'll be able to enjoy more sexual fulfillment in your marriage, and your wife definitely will love you for it. Thank you for staying till tonight. God bless you. Stay safe, and bye for now.